What I'm standing on is a Minecraft bed, but it's not just any bed. This has been my main respawn point for the past 5 years on the oldest anarchy server in Minecraft. Now, guess how far away from spawn it is? I'll give you a hint. It's not 100,000 blocks. It's not 50,000 blocks. It's not even 10,000 blocks. It's not even 5,000 blocks. The answer? Almost 4,000 blocks away from 0-0. For half a decade, this bed has been untouched. But as of this week, the slow creep of destruction away from 0-0 has finally gotten too close for comfort. It's no longer safe for me to keep it here, so I'm moving it. But the question is, how was I able to keep my spawn point this close to 0-0 and stay undetected for so long? On a server with no rules that is patrolled by hackers around the clock, how did the bed not get discovered? Well, in my over 7 years of playing 2B2T, I've learned plenty of creative ways to hide in plain sight. So the real purpose of this video today is to teach you how to remain completely undetected and stay out of sight, not just on 2B2T, but other anarchy servers as well. From keeping your bed safe, to traveling through common places without being spotted, to stashing valuables where even hackers wouldn't bother to look. The methods I teach you today will not only keep you safe, but your items as well. Once I explain all of these things to you, then I'll reveal how my bed managed to survive. Even if you don't play on anarchy servers, today's video will definitely teach you a thing or two. There's a lot to discuss, so let's get started. First, we're going to cover how to keep your spawn point safe. The most common mistake I see people make is putting their main bed inside their actual base. Don't do this. This is way too obvious. If a griefer comes along, it can easily be destroyed or worse, lava trapped. Regardless, an unexpected trip back to spawn with no items is not a fun experience. Instead, put a decoy bed in your base, but put your actual bed in a natural cave a few hundred blocks away. The deeper the cave goes towards bedrock, the easier it is to remain undetected. Hostile mobs don't spawn as often on anarchy servers, so dark caves are actually quite safe. Try to tamper with blocks as little as possible. You don't want to draw any attention to the cave or give people a reason to suspect you may be living there. So now that you know how to respawn safely, what about having access to your valuables? If you put chests or other containers close to your bed, it could compromise your location, ruining the entire purpose of hiding your respawn point. This brings us to our next topic, hiding items safely. People incorrectly assume that building a bunker underground is all it takes to stay safe. Unfortunately, this doesn't work. Hackers often use a combination of ESP and tracer hacks to find containers hidden underground. In fact, it's one of the easiest ways that I find hidden bases whenever I go looking on my Sunday morning live streams. Seeing the purple glow of an e-chest or the red glow of a shulker make it painfully obvious there's been player activity. But having these hacks enabled means that even naturally generated containers such as dungeon chests, village furnaces, and minecarts will still show up. The majority of base hunters and griefers will never bother to check these naturally generated chests, especially if there are no signs of tampering such as mined blocks or a broken spawner. I actually was taught this method by one of my old basemates, Silver Crown King. Many years ago, he brought me to one of his stashes that contained Steve heads, which at the time were incredibly rare. But the stash ended up being inside a mineshaft that had generated under an ocean. The valuables were hidden inside the chests with no signs of tampering. No tunnels, no extra torches, no broken blocks. Mineshaft chests usually are pretty underwhelming, so someone passing over it would have no reason to go down and check. Utilizing these natural containers makes it far easier to hide items. If a natural chest is close to your hidden bed, you can hide an e-chest in it so you can have access to your valuables in case of an unexpected death. Just remember to leave no trace. Now, in more populated areas, especially near spawn, I've seen players use item frames hidden underneath lava lakes near bedrock to hide precious items as well. This is a pretty solid method, but it assumes the hacker is not using X-ray and is only relying on ESP and tracers. I don't use this method that often, but you may find some success with it. So now that we've covered keeping your bed and your valuables hidden, there's one more skill I need to teach you before we talk about my bed. It involves staying hidden while traveling and utilizing off hours. It's no secret that the nether highways are the easiest way to travel, but also one of the most dangerous places to encounter other players. When I travel on my main account, I tend to avoid highways at all costs, but sometimes I have no choice but to travel them. What a lot of players don't realize is that there are tunnels off to the side that run parallel to the highways and are usually only 100 to 500 blocks away, far enough to avoid being in the render distance of hunters, but close enough where you won't be wasting time getting to them. Using speed or elytra hacks in a narrow hallway is a lot harder, but it's still doable if you're patient. If you know you'll be heading into a high traffic area, it also helps to do it during off hours or when the server is less busy. There's a reason that 5 in the morning is my favorite time to play. Using side highways during off hours will eliminate the majority of player run-ins you might have. So now, the question is, how did this bed survive for 5 years in what is essentially spawn territory? Well, it's a combination of all the things that I just taught you. Back in 2015, I wanted to set my bed in a place that would be close to spawn for travel purposes, but be just far enough away where I didn't have to worry about unexpected visitors. I placed my bed in a natural cave that was connected to a mining tunnel of an already griefed base. I put the bed next to a lava pool, making it harder to stand out when using X-ray. The mining tunnel had some old furnaces nearby, so I would hide an ender chest inside the furnace. In case of a death, I would pull out the e-chest, take what I needed, and then put it back inside. Since the bed was still very close to spawn, I would try to only be there during the off hours of the server, making it less likely that I would be spotted from above ground. Using a combination of all of these things, I've kept my spawn this secret for 5 years. But as I mentioned, it's time for me to finally move on. So where am I going to put my bed next? Well, obviously, I'm not going to tell you that. I guess you'll have to wait and see. But anyway, if you found today's video informative, make sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. But that's it for today, everyone. Take it easy and stay alive out there, Fit Fam.